before we move on, now that all of this evidence for fine tuning is mounting and mounting and mounting, I just would like to pause and ask what you make of it at this point.
Well, my own personal outlook is that for me, that the fine tuning is a sign that we are in a multiverse. To me, that's the only obvious solution that lets me sleep at night. The others, I'm not swayed by that the universe is special. I'm not swayed by there's the simulation hypothesis that we're part of a computer simulation. I'm not swayed by that one really either. The multiverse one seems like the reasonable one for me. And again, if there's a process that brings a universe into being, why would it stop at one? So I can imagine that there is some overall deeper mechanism going on somewhere where universes are created and that we are just one of many. So that's where I sit. Now, you can, as I said, you run into lots of arguments with people, lots of arguments about statistics, lots of arguments about you have no prior over your probabilities, all this kind of stuff. And that's true. But for me, it seems like that's the obvious solution, is that we are just one of many universes.
Well, we are going to quickly return to the forward march we were on, but I'm surprised that you say that it lets you sleep well at night. Not that wouldn't be comforting to have finally solved the problem, but one of the main criticisms I hear of various multiverse hypotheses is that they aren't falsifiable, and then this is sort of what distinguishes them from science. And if you're a fan of Popper, it's what gets you into bad metaphysics. So what I wonder is why you find the possibility so compelling when it's something that you can't really test and that we can't go out and find another universe.
Yeah. So I get this argument all the time, and I get Popper thrown in my face all the time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine because people seem to have misread something somewhere, right? The multiverse is a hypothesis, right? So it's not a theory, it's a hypothesis. It's an idea for the solution. So people say to me, oh, it's not testable. And I have to ask them, well, how do you know? How do you know that a multiverse theory is not testable? Because we don't have a multiverse theory. We have a hypothesis. And we still need people to develop the series to know whether or not the multiverse picture is testable or not. So we're still in our hypothesis stage. And of course, we've had people like Roger Penrose, who's already suggested things like, signs of colliding universes could be written into the cosmic microwave background. And I don't give that idea that he's seen anything any great weight. But, that's where we need to get to with the idea of a multiverse. So we have to get out of this first stage of the scientific circle, so to speak, before we can start making definitive statements like it's not testable. And again, I get this when this is discussed on Twitter /X, etc., that people basically say, it's not testable, therefore it's not science. And every time I have to say, well, how do you know it's not testable? Who told you it's not testable? And then when you've said that, people get a little bit more coy and they say, yeah, okay, it's a hypothesis. We can live with it, and etc. And again, ask people why they're so certain that there is only one universe. And it comes down to gut reaction. And then that's not science either, right? So again, sorry to go off on a bit of a rant there, but I do get that one quite a bit. But as I said, it allows me to sleep at night. I find it comforting, but it's not science until it's testable, but we don't know if it's testable yet. We need to get to that point where we can really say, does the presence of other universes leave any imprint that we can detect? And we don't know yet.
No, your rant is welcome and much appreciated. I mean, I'm not informed enough to have a stake in the matter, but if you'll permit me a little more of a pushback, if it's a hypothesis without a theory that we know of that would be testable, why do you still find it sufficiently plausible enough that it lets you sleep at night? Why select this hypothesis rather than the hypothesis that there is a creator that made it fine-tuned or something else? Or it's just
So
random?
So look, there are the other hypotheses, right? So there's the hypothesis that that this is a one-off universe and it was born special. I just think that pushes the problem elsewhere. I am not a theistic person. I see no sign of a creator. If there was, I wish they were the creators of ancient Egypt, because they were much more interesting than the current crop that we have. So I don't find that compelling. So again, I'm going to put on my Bayesian hat here, because that's where we carry things. My priors for those are exceedingly low, right? So if I look at my suspects, I just find the notion that there could be a process producing universes. I just feel, and again, it's a gut feeling, right? I just feel that that's the right kind of direction. Now, I might be wrong, and being a scientist, of course, you have to put on your big boy trousers and say, yes, I was wrong about that. It's not politics, right? And I'm willing to be wrong on that, but there's no evidence for, in my humble opinion, for a creator, for a simulated universe, and for this being a one-off universe. There's no evidence for any of those things. Your priors are different. If you're Elon Musk fanboy or girl, of course, it's the simulated universe, because that's what he likes. But mine sits with the multiverse.
You said that randomness pushes the question elsewhere. A deistic account certainly pushes it elsewhere. Does the multiverse account not? Well, there are many multiverse accounts, so I should flag that. Do you not think that they push it elsewhere?
Well, maybe. So the one of the interesting questions is time infinitely far into the past if you consider a multiverse. I mean, you get this situation with initial conditions, right? So you have to worry about the initial conditions. But if there were no initial conditions, okay, so you just keep going back and keep going back and keep going forward and keep going forward. There is no time where you have to account for the starting point. Then maybe there's less of a problem there. Now that probably sounds like quite a cop-out, right? That I've gotten and said, oh, there's an infinity over there, so we don't need to worry about this. And it probably is. But if something is going to be weird, it may as well be the entire multiverse, right? That there was never a time where you needed to account for initial conditions. Again, I that's gut feeling. I'm willing to be shown wrong, but it may be the ultimate kicking the can down the road, because the road is infinite, right?
Mm-hmm. But the buck does have to stop somewhere.
Does it? Why?
Oh, I wasn't saying with time. I mean with our why questions. I mean, something is going to have to be primitive, like time going on forever. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Rather than the universe's buck having to stop somewhere.
Yes, I wasn't saying that. I was agreeing that it's going to have to stop with, or there might not be a question why, or an answer to the question why is there a multiverse, something like that, or why, if you're a string theorist, why are the fundamental constituents of the universe brains? I mean, there's just an answer somewhere.
Have you read Max Tegmark's Mathematical Universe?
I haven't. I've talked about it a bit with Tim Maudlin, but I am looking forward to reading that.
Okay, so he does have that kind of picture as well, and of course for him, the primitive is this environment where all maths, all possible maths, whatever that means, are playing out, and that our universe is in there as a mathematical algorithm churning away. But of course, as you said, they're asking where that maths is, asking why the algorithms churn away and all that kind of stuff. That's the end of the why questions. But in there, he basically says that it's not just every possible universe exists, but every possible universe across all possible mathematics exists. So it's a different. It's a different kind of picture, but again, it's the ultimate kick in the can down the road. It's just this stuff exists for some definition of exists, and we're just a consequence of it.